You're not praying for something shallow. You're not asking God for a temporary thrill or a relationship built on chemistry alone. You're praying for something deeper, something safe, something steady, the kind of love that feels like peace instead of pressure, the kind that lasts when emotions fluctuate and seasons change. You've asked God for a covenant, for faithfulness, for someone who will pray with you, grow with you, and build a future rooted in Him. And those are good prayers. But here's the question most people avoid. Are you prepared to carry the kind of love you're asking for? Because the love you're praying for is not light, it's weighty. It requires emotional strength, spiritual maturity, and inner stability. And sometimes what feels like delay isn't God withholding love. It's God building the structure that can sustain it. Today, I want to show you what that kind of love requires first. Not to discourage you, not to shame you, but to align you. Because when the foundation is ready, what God brings won't just feel right. It will last. Core principle: love is weight, not just emotion. The kind of love you're praying for is not built on emotion alone. Emotion may introduce it, but structure sustains it. Covenant love carries weight. It is daily forgiveness. It is choosing unity in disagreement. It is remaining steady when circumstances shift. And weight always requires support. Proverbs 18:22 says, "He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord." Favor is not casual. It is entrusted. Marriage is not just companionship. It is stewardship. It is the joining of two lives under God's authority. And anything entrusted by God must be handled with maturity. Jesus said in Luke 14:28, "Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost?" Notice that he speaks of counting the cost before construction begins. Love is beautiful, but it is not effortless. It demands patience, humility, discipline, and emotional strength. You don't place a grand piano on a fragile floor. The instrument may be exquisite, but if the structure beneath it is weak, collapse is inevitable. In the same way, the love you're asking God for may be beautiful, but if the inner structure isn't ready, the pressure will expose the cracks. This is why delay is sometimes mercy. The love you desire requires the foundation you are building right now. Foundation 1. Emotional stability before emotional intensity. The kind of love you're praying for requires emotional stability before emotional intensity. Intensity feels powerful. It feels romantic. It feels like confirmation. But intensity without stability burns hot and fades quickly. James 1:6-8 warns that a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. Instability is not just spiritual, it is emotional. If your mood determines your peace, if conflict immediately feels like rejection, if disagreement sends you into withdrawal or overreaction, then intensity will only magnify that instability. Passion can ignite a relationship, but peace sustains it. Think of the ocean. Ships do not sail safely because the water is exciting. They sail safely because it is steady. A storm may be dramatic, but no one builds a harbor in chaos. In the same way, marriage cannot thrive on emotional highs alone. It requires consistency, regulation, and the ability to remain grounded when feelings fluctuate. Ask yourself honestly, when you are misunderstood, do you communicate or collapse? When someone disappoints you, do you respond with maturity or defensiveness? Love will test your emotional foundation. The person you marry will see you on your best days and your worst ones. They will see your fatigue, your stress, your frustration. And if you are praying for a stable, peaceful love, you must become someone who can sustain stability in return. God often strengthens emotional resilience before introducing emotional intensity, because peace sustains love longer than passion ever could. Foundation 2. Identity before attachment. The kind of love you're praying for requires identity before attachment. If you do not know who you are, you will look to a relationship to define you. And when identity depends on another person, attachment becomes pressure instead of partnership. Colossians 2:10 says, "You have been made complete in Christ." Complete, not partially formed, not waiting to be finished by someone else. Marriage is meant to complement your life, not complete it. When two incomplete identities merge, insecurity multiplies. But when two whole individuals unite, strength compounds. Think of two pillars holding up a roof. Each pillar must stand firmly on its own foundation. If one leans entirely on the other, both become unstable. In the same way, healthy love is built by two people who already know who they are in God. If you need constant reassurance to feel secure, love will feel fragile. If your worth rises and falls based on someone's attention, attachment will create anxiety. But when your identity is anchored in Christ, you can love freely without clinging, fearing, or controlling. Ask yourself, if this relationship did not exist, would I still know who I am? Would I still feel valuable? Would I still feel called? God often solidifies identity before he allows deep attachment, because love thrives when it is chosen from security, not from emptiness. Wholeness attracts wholeness. Foundation 3. Healing before union. The kind of love you're praying for requires healing before union. Love does not erase wounds, it reveals them. And if past pain remains untreated, it will quietly shape how you interpret present affection. Psalm 147:3 says, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." Healing is not automatic, it is intentional. God does not ignore wounds, he addresses them. Because unhealed pain does not disappear in marriage. It resurfaces under pressure. Think of a cracked lens. If the glass is fractured, everything you look at becomes distorted. Even something healthy can appear threatening. A delayed text can feel like abandonment. Constructive feedback can feel like rejection. Silence can feel like distance. When trauma speaks louder than truth, love becomes exhausting. 2 Corinthians 5:17 reminds us that in Christ we are made new, but renewal requires surrender. It requires allowing God to confront the insecurities, fears, and old narratives that still whisper beneath the surface. Ask yourself honestly, are you choosing from peace or from fear of being alone? Are you discerning clearly or reacting from old wounds? Healing is not weakness, it is preparation. God would rather restore your heart fully than let you build a covenant on top of pain. Because love cannot thrive where trauma is untreated. Freedom makes room for healthy union, and the love you're praying for deserves a healed heart. Foundation 4. Discipline before destiny. The kind of love you're praying for requires discipline before destiny. Marriage is not sustained by feelings alone. It is sustained by habits, daily habits, private habits, spiritual habits. Luke 16:10 says, "Whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much." Covenant is much. It is a lifelong commitment that will test consistency more than chemistry. And consistency is built long before vows are exchanged. Think of roots before fruit. Everyone admires fruit because it is visible and sweet. But fruit only grows because roots have learned to draw nourishment steadily from beneath the surface. Discipline is the root system of love. Without it, emotions dry up quickly. If you struggle with consistency in prayer, in self-control, in communication, or in honoring your commitments now, those struggles will not magically disappear in marriage. They will simply carry over. Love amplifies patterns. It does not erase them. Galatians 6-7 reminds us that we reap what we sow. The marriage you desire will grow from the seeds you plant today. Are you cultivating patience? Are you practicing forgiveness? Are you building routines that support stability? God often develops discipline quietly before releasing destiny publicly, because the love you want requires the consistency you practice, and covenant flourishes where discipline already exists. If you've been praying for deep, lasting, God-centered love, don't stop praying, but don't stop preparing either. God is not withholding something good from you. He is strengthening you for something weighty. The love you're asking for is not fragile. It is steady. It is refining. It will stretch you, grow you, and require the very maturity He is building in you right now. So instead of asking, when will it come? Begin asking, who am I becoming while I wait? Let Him steady your emotions, anchor your identity, heal your heart, sharpen your discipline. Because when love arrives on a strong foundation, it doesn't just feel exciting, it feels safe. And safe love is not accidental. It is constructed. The kind of love you're praying for requires this first. Not perfection, not performance, but preparation. And when preparation meets God's timing, what He brings will not just bless your heart, it will endure.